one-on-one that doesn't work for the organization. Yeah, it's me. I'm Chris Jenkins. I'm with Charlotte Vibe, and I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel where each and every week I interview players one-on-one. And the cool thing about it is I always say I work for the fans. So I always take questions from you guys, ideas from you all, and I put that into my interviews with these players every week. And something very fun at the end of the interview is I do an activity like Office Olympics, just something really fun. And I don't always win, but that's not the point. Just so you guys can get the chance to see these players as people, not just as guys with helmets on running around on Sundays. It's really cool. So if I have your interest, please click subscribe to my YouTube channel and let me know what you think. How's it going? Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, here with your New Orleans Saints versus Carolina Panthers Week 17 post-game recap, and invite you to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter. Invite you to go over to YouTube, where therefore you will be able to ask me questions, which is the reason why I go live, is to interact. But if you don't have any questions, just want to watch and hear what's going on, you're welcome to stay on Twitter or Facebook to watch this live broadcast. So, hey, today, Week 17, the Carolina Panthers had their worst game of the season. And, you know, I kind of said they were due for something like this. This is a team that's really young versus, you know, on player side, on coaching side, and long season. And I feel like it just finally just got the best of them today as they fell to the New Orleans Saints. Final score, New Orleans Saints 33, Carolina Panthers 7. The Carolina Panthers did not score a touchdown after the first quarter. Lots of reasons that could happen, many reasons that could happen. But, you know, it happened. So the Carolina Panthers finished the season 5-11, and they also finished the season with a record of 2-6 at home. And with that home game, they only had 1,500 people in attendance today, and that was due to COVID restrictions that are here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So, as always, after the game, we'll get a chance to talk with head coach and a few players. So today, Matt Rule came out and spoke with the media, and he said that second half got away from us. And that's something that he hasn't seen all season. I agree. I haven't seen a half get away from them as much as I did today versus the New Orleans Saints. I think things just started snowballing on them and got bigger and bigger as the game went into the later stages, with Teddy Bridgewater throwing interceptions, then being replaced by P.J. Walker, and P.J. Walker throwing interceptions. Didn't have a chance to speak with him, so you will see some or hear about some comments from P.J. Walker here momentarily. Why did Teddy Bridgewater come out of the game, right? Wasn't listed on the injury report. I noticed that during the game, which is usually what happens when a player's out because of an injury. That didn't happen, but Coach Rule didn't say that, hey, he benched Teddy Bridgewater. He said it was a combination of his play in terms of not being able to put the zip on the ball that they normally see Teddy doing, as well as the fact that he did have that ankle injury, was hobbling around, and just didn't seem completely like the Teddy Bridgewater that they want to see out there in the game. Speaking of the interceptions that were thrown today, with Teddy throwing 2 of those interceptions, it was interesting that Matt Rule let us know that Joe Brady said that first interception was on him. He said that was a bad play call, and he should have went with something different. The other interception, they said that was definitely on Teddy. Well, I won't say they said it was definitely on Teddy, but Coach said that they can't have plays like that happen. So both of the plays, regardless of how they happen, they can't afford to have those things happen. And he felt the biggest problem today was once they got across midfield. He particularly said once they got inside the 40-yard line is when they saw the Saints step up and the Panthers making more mistakes. Once they got inside there, they had some problems. Third down conversions weren't good enough. I got a stat for you later today that I'm going to share with you. And we got a chance to see Tommy Stevens, right? Now, Tommy Stevens rolling to the game looked just like that of Taysom Hill, right? And if you want to know what Coach had to say, that was by design. Stevens was not set to come in the game today and throw any passes. He was definitely, part of his game plan was coming there and play the Wildcat, and I think he did a pretty good job. It's something that was exciting to see, at least in terms of something different and then moving the ball. So those were basically the highlights from talking with Coach Matt Rule today. Shaquille, I see you in the building. Got your comments, and I will certainly come to those. And for everybody that's watching, I will certainly continue to keep you very well in the loop this offseason about Panthers moves. They got a lot of things to do with player personnel, including a general manager that they have to get. So there's going to be some videos that you can look forward to coming up with me regarding that. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Teddy Bridgewater was next up and speaking with the media today, and he said in regards to that change, you always know that somebody's waiting to take your place. And he said as soon as he got hurt with that ankle injury, he did glance over to the sidelines and see that P.J. Walker was warming up. So everything that transpired wasn't like mind-boggling surprise. And he said that when he came out and he was talking with Joe Brady, you know, they consulted with him, asking him about how he felt, and just felt like he took they, as in Joe Brady, took the approach of, with the way that he's feeling and the way that he's playing, let's go ahead and make this change at quarterback. Of course, it was asked of Teddy, hey, how would you evaluate yourself this season? Have you earned the right, have you earned the right to be the starting quarterback for next season? And he just said, he didn't say yes, he didn't say no, as you might expect, but he said he knows that he has to get better. And he wants to be better. So nothing today was eye-opening for him. You know, it's something that he always is aspiring to do, is to be better each and every week, be better each and every season. And he's going to approach this offseason just like he did in previous seasons, just to get better as a quarterback. P.J. Walker, it's kind of strange, but cool that today we got a chance to talk to 3 quarterbacks after a game. And there's never been a time, I've been covering the Carolina Panthers for a good amount of time. I know well over 10 years. I don't know the exact number of years, but never have we had 3 quarterbacks be available to us after a game. And we had that today with Teddy Bridgewater, P.J. Walker, and then Stevens coming in to the interview. But P.J. Walker asked him, I said, hey, what was the biggest difference between you coming into the game today versus what things were like for you when you came into that Detroit game? And I'm just going to sum it up. These aren't a quote for his words. He said when they're playing from behind, which they were, and he's a new quarterback that comes in there, they know exactly what he has to do. It's kind of like the chips are stacked against him. You're losing, you got to throw the ball. And, you know, being a new guy in the league, just didn't have the experience to really, you know, overcome that. But today he got some experience, so he'll be better. But that's really what I got away from him. In other words, his experience, lack thereof, was with the situation of knowing the defense, knowing what you have to do, didn't put him in the best situation. So sometimes he was trying to press and do things that he just should not have done. And, you know, a lot of it just goes to lack of experience. So I certainly feel like, and you guys can certainly let me know your opinion, P.J. Walker given a chance to know that he's coming into the game and prepare, and also coming to a game where it's not so far lopsided, probably can go through his progressions and his game flow a little bit slower and get warmed up to it. Today, he didn't have that opportunity at all. Threw 3 interceptions. Got stats for him coming up. Trey Boston was also a guy that we got a chance to speak with today, and I wasn't able to get his exact quote, but he said, like, today was a chance for you to learn something. Today was a day to find out, you know, who your dogs are, who you can go to war with, and who you may want to reconsider about who you may be going to war. Not that he's saying that a lot of guys did anything wrong, but he just said in a game like today, week 17, losing record, stacks getting chips, I keep saying that wrong, chips getting stacked against you, you really get a chance to see true colors. But he did say, hey, I'm going to be very honest with you guys, very, very honest with you guys. We have a young defense, a lot of first-year guys, and we didn't ask them to just play situational defense. These guys were asked to play entire games, and that's a lot to put on anybody's plate. And he commends these guys for what they did and just said, hey, Carolina's defense has a bright future because they've had so many young guys that had a lot on their plate, and they did extremely well considering those circumstances. So those are Trey Boston's comments. And now I'm going to get into some of the stats from today's game. And again, Shaq, I see your question. I'm certainly going to come to it. If anyone else has any questions while they're watching, please be sure to share them with me. Didn't get these stats loaded before the game, but I'm just going to throw them up here as we go. We should be pretty good to talk about them as I get them loaded up for you. Actually, before I go to these stats, I want to share with you guys what I feel like were some key stats from today's loss. All right, let's try again. There we go. Give me just a second to format this properly. And got a spelling error. All right. So in my opinion, and in no particular order, here's the top stats that hurt us today. 5 interceptions. So 2 of those interceptions were by P.J. Walker. 2 of those interceptions were by Teddy Bridgewater. 3 of those interceptions were by P.J. Walker. Don't care who you are in the NFL, winning the turnover battle is key. We had 5 interceptions. Let me see if I can quickly find how many the New Orleans Saints had. 0. 5 interceptions, turnovers, 0. You're going to lose pretty much every single game when you have that kind of thing going on. And that was my biggest stat from today. I know I said in no particular order, but I certainly feel like that was huge. 1 of 9, that would equal an 11% third down efficiency. You know, that simply means we couldn't sustain any drives, which goes back to Coach Rule said once they got past the 40, they were dead in the water. So, and about those interceptions, I know at least 2 of those interceptions were end zone interceptions. So not like we were in the red zone, but these were thrown in the touchdown area. So that's not good. It's going to hurt you every time. And something that we actually did a really, really good job at, but when you have turnovers, we only had 1 penalty today for 5 yards. So there was a stat, you know, I like to show the good, the bad, and let you all have your own decisions that you would like about a game. But we had no penalties. I'm sorry, we had 1 penalty for only 5 yards. And I know this season that had been a thing at a few times where we have 7, 8, 9 penalties in the game for nearing 100 yards. So that was a good point today. And there's lots of other good points that I'm gonna get into today from the offensive side of the ball as well. So let me go ahead and now get up our quarterback stats from today's game. Quarterbacks did not do well for us at all today. Just 1 second, and I'll have it up here for you guys. All right, got your stats ready for you. And actually, let me go ahead and look at these comments that are coming through. So I always go live for the purpose of interacting with you all, and I haven't went to many yet. Panthers were in tanking mode this afternoon. Looking forward to attending training camp in a few months from now. Wofford is coming. Okay. So Shaq believes that we were in tank mode today. I don't feel like we were in tank mode at all today. I think the players just got exhausted on the season with the ups and downs and the adversity and also being a lot of youth is what I think it is. Next year for the Panthers, playoff or bust. Okay. Good question. So Shaq asked, without a GM in place at the end of the season press conference, do you think that we'll hear this week from Tepper besides Rule tomorrow? I think we did just hear from Tepper, about 2 weeks ago when he released Hurney. So, yeah, I don't know at what point, but I don't feel like necessarily we'll be at a chance to talk with David Tepper this week, but I do feel like within the month we'll be able to hear from David Tepper? Very good question. Do we have a shot at getting Justin Fields for the draft next? Jose, hopefully that's how you say the name. I haven't started my all-season prep yet, but stay tuned. I will definitely be addressing that and much more information. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so, and I will definitely get to that. Some comments said we need a quarterback bad. Okay. And another question about the GM. So yes, I will again be addressing that pretty shortly coming up. I want to get through today's game and some other stats that I have for you guys. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these stats. Oh man, I'm sorry. You guys could not see me that whole time. You were looking at a black screen. My apologies. My apologies. I thought myself was on screen. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and look at these stats that I had showing up there. That's why you made the comment about the quarterback, right? Sorry about that. So Teddy Bridgewater today was 13 of 23. That equals just 56%. 2 interceptions, and he had a 44.8 rating. PJ Walker, he was 5 of 14. That equals just a 35% rating. He had 3 interceptions, and I don't know if a quarterback rating can get much lower than this. 20.5 was his quarterback rating. So quarterbacks did not put us in too good of a position to win today. All right, now let's look at the running back situation. We were without Mike Davis, and all season we've been without, well, with the exception of 3 games, we've been without Christian McCaffrey. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rushing stats. We have Rodney Smith, 10 carries, 40 yards, not too bad, 4-yard average and a touchdown. Tommy Stevens, who knew all week, not all week, he said about Wednesday he was aware that he'd be likely used in this game, and coach revealed that his purpose was certainly as a Wildcat to run the ball. There were no designated times for him to pass, but hey, he did good in his role, right? 4 carries, 24 yards, 6-yard average. So they said the NFL is a copycat league. I know Taysom Hill is, man, he's gotten paid working for the New Orleans Saints. So Stevens certainly has the potential to have a key role on the Carolina Panthers staff upcoming here in the future. Next, we're going to look at some wide receiving stats here. And interesting to note, so pregame I mentioned that we were on the verge of being, I think, one of 4 teams since the Super Bowl era to have 4 players with 1,000 yards from scrimmage. So that was DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and Mike Davis. The person that had the ability to catch them and join the ranks was Curtis Samuel. He was only 70 yards away from having his 1,000 yards from scrimmage, and he made it. So Curtis Samuel today had 7 receptions for 118 yards on 11 targets. Another 100-yard game for him. That puts him at back-to-back 100-yard games. And Curtis, we had a chance to talk with Curtis Samuel as well, and asked him about his future, where he wanted to be. Didn't want to give any kind of tip in the hand there. Also said, well, hey, are you looking forward to free agency? Didn't want to tip his hat there. So Curtis Samuel didn't tip his hat any kind of way in terms of his excitement or lack thereof for anything in the future, but I can assure you that he put himself in a very, very good position to have a bright future, whether it's with the Carolina Panthers or someone else, because he finished the season extremely strong for the Carolina Panthers and certainly was an important player on our offensive side. DJ Moore, 5 receptions, 101 yards, so he goes over 100 yards again, 20.2-yard average. He, coming into this game, was 2nd in the league, I believe, and yards after the catch, or I'm sorry, average yards received. So with that gaudy 20.2, I'm sure he is still up there quite well. Let's go ahead and finish with talking about a little defense. And Shaq, my man, is on the comments today. I'm going to come right back to you in a second, Shaq. Let me get these other stats up really quickly for y'all. All right, let me see what Shaq's talking about. So as far as press conferences for the week, normally, this is a COVID situation, so things have been different, but the team has been really, really good about each and every week, making sure we have the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. I certainly would not expect that to change this week. Yes, we will have the chance to talk with Coach Matt Rule tomorrow, and not sure if that's going to be like our season ending where it'll be long or if we'll have another one. I'm thinking it probably will. Nevertheless, stay close to your notifications because I will go live and give you a video for that. And I will give you as much as possible some leeway or some notice so that you can be in that video with me live. All right, you guys are talking about future with quarterbacks, which I can't say is not is a bad thing. But let's go with these defensive stats. Trey Boston led the team today with tackles. Him and Shaq Thompson actually both had 10 tackles apiece. Trey had a sack, another quarterback hit, and a tackle for loss. Jeremy Chin, who certainly is in a good position to be Defensive Rookie of the Year, 7 tackles, 1 quarterback hit. And then F.A. Abada also had a sack. And there was an interesting stat about F.A., which I am going to work my darndest to bring up super quick while we're talking as I get ready to end this broadcast. 1 second. And I was really about to start humming, and I remember how well you guys can hear me. So I will do that. Hey, by the way, here's a good stat for you. Trey Boston had 91 tackles this year, which is a career high. So congratulations to Trey Boston. Again, Trey Boston had a career high 91 tackles this season. F.A. Abada, who I want to highlight, he had 5.5 sacks this season, including 1 today. And he has tackled this year. I'm trying to talk as I try to find this information because I know it was out there. Oh boy, give me 1 more second. If I don't find it, I'll let you guys be and enjoy your evening. All right, so I'm not going to find it for sure, but F.A. Bada, 5.5 sacks this season, which I believe is second on the team. And give him credit, man. He had, of his sacks, he had some good ones this year. So he had Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, and I believe Tom Brady. So his sack list this year, he got all the Hall of Famers. So hats off to F.A. Abada, who joined the team as part of this league international player committee. I'm not sure what they call it, but this international player program to try to expand the NFL. So it was a good story, and the adversity that this man had gone through just to get to the NFL. So now it's great 3 years later to see him coming and being a very formidable player in the NFL and for his team. So congratulations to you, F.A. Abada, for your success so far with the Carolina Panthers. All right, last check to see if there's some more questions that came in here. Don't hate winning, but I sense mediocrity for the future if we don't address the quarterback situation. Tom Brady isn't bad, but he can't get us. Oh, I'm sorry, Teddy Bridgewater. You said TB. TB, I would go with Tom Brady the first time I see it, but Teddy Bridgewater isn't bad, but he can't get us over the hump. Thank you, Chris, for your great coverage this season. Enjoy your offseason. Hey, there will not be an offseason. I'll be working for you guys. But, hey, Shaq, I appreciate you tuning in as much as you did. And everybody that has tuned in this season, I appreciate you all very, very much. So that'll be it. We'll be back soon. Everybody, once again, Happy New Year. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button. It helps other Carolina Panthers fans find out about the channel. Hit the subscribe button and notifications so that you can be aware of when I go live. Nicknamed by you all, man of the people, because I like to work for you all and get questions answered from coaches and players for you. So if you enjoy that, make sure you hit that like button and subscription button. Chris Jenkins reporting for Charlotte.